Hey, do you wish cleaning your gun was easy? Well, clean, lube, and protect your gun with Seal One. Seal One CLP Plus is a natural, non-toxic, and environmentally friendly. Clean your guns easier and faster. You'll also smell better too. Something like the wife would appreciate. Hey, one and done with Seal One. Ask for it by name at your local gun shop or get some on their website at seal1.com. That's seal, the number 1.com. So Jason Austell is going in tomorrow, him and his wife, to take a class from Manny.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they're pretty excited.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Nice
next
shot.
time you talk to him, which I'm sure you will in the near future.
Yeah, I'll inquire.
Yeah, but he's all into all the training. I told him to join San Diego County Gun Owners, and I told him to join, the gun range that he's going to be going to because all the benefits, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
yada.
So what was the question? Joe, you had a question before we...
Oh, yeah, I was just asking John and Charlie if, of all the times you've taken new shooters to the range, say, have you ever had anybody that's had an experience similar to that New York, the alleged experience that New York Times reporter claimed to have had?
No, not like that. Not even close. I had one student that I was, working with, and when we got done with the shooting portion, I was like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, you've showed your proficiency with the firearm. You're safe. You know what you're doing as far as one-on-one level. We got you on paper, and, if you want to keep shooting, it's gravy, whatever you want to do. She said, no, I'm good. I got to do what I had to do, and, I'll come to the range after I digest everything that we've just done. But I've never had anybody completely freak out by the end of a class or a shooting session. I've had some nervous people, sure, but no, nothing like that.
No, I think this guy had to go to like his safe room and stuff and Play-Doh or something.
He had his emotional support peacock or whatever he needed to have,
My goodness.
I had a student one time. She wanted me to go shopping with her. So we went shopping, and she didn't want a revolver because she thought it was too old school technology. So she fondles all the hardware, as I call it. She went to the gun store. She had a hard time racking the slide on a lot of different guns. So the guy finally says, "Do you want to hold a revolver?" She's like, "I really don't." He's like, "Just try it." So he handed her a Ruger LCR, and she's like, "Oh, this is kind of comfortable." And then she's like, "All I got to do is push this button in and pop the cylinder open." And she's like, "Yeah, that's it." So she bought the gun. We went shooting. We went shooting. She fired about 4 cylinders worth, and she's like, "All right, this kind of hurts my hand." And I'm like, "It's not really a starter gun, but you gotta. People have to start. I think people need to start with whatever they need to start with." And I had a family member that just bought a gun, and it ended up being too small for her. And of course, she didn't bother asking her brother what he thought of his opinion of anything. But it's nice to see them, taking the initiative and starting with something and saying, all right, this is why we say guns are like potato chips, and you can't just have one. Like, you've got to start somewhere, and this is going to be the gun that you bought, and you said this probably wasn't a good gun. Then you're going to find something else, and then after you find something else to learn to shoot on, then you're going to find something that maybe if you're going to get to the point where you want to carry, this is something that you want to carry.
Well, we had a shooting social not long after that article where the guy shot an AR and had PTSD or whatever. And there was it's all pistol, and then at the end, sometimes we'll bring out an AR, maybe a shotgun. I happened to bring my AR that day, and there was a 17-year-old girl. She was from Poland. She was like a foreign exchange student that one of the students brought in, like, hey, you got to come check this out. And she was bouncing off the walls. She couldn't believe how cool this was. And little 17-year-old girl. And so I thought, all right, let's roll camera, let's put her on the AR, see what happens. And there's a video on San Diego County Gun Owners on our YouTube page showing her shooting an AR for the very first time ever in her life, a 17-year-old girl, and couldn't smile big enough. She loved it. She squeezed a few more off. But we've had. And I run most of these shooting socials, or at least organize them, I should say. I'm not an RSO even. I just kind of organize them, make sure everybody is where they need to be and everything. But I've observed thousands of new shooters I honestly, I stopped. It's well north of 10,000, or I should say it's somewhere north of 10,000, and growing every month. I don't even have people, like most of them start out on 9mm. I've had fewer than a dozen who said, hey, you know what, I better use a 22. Better start out on a 22. Everybody else, 9mm pistol. Most are Glocks. You know, it's not like.
Why do you suppose that is?
Well, it's just I think that this idea that everybody has to start out on a 22 originated back when everybody was carrying a 38, revolver, or a 44, like
1911.
Yeah, well, maybe these big bangs, and so they said, you get to start on a 22, but a 9mm is very, very reasonable, and I don't think that that's necessary advice anymore. I think that most new shooters can start out on a 9mm and be just fine. Now, if they're particularly nervous, okay, great, put them on a 22. There's no shame, whatever. But like I said, over 10,000 people and maybe a dozen have said, better start on a 22. But that's my experience, And these are people of all walks of life, but they're all new shooters.
That's cool. I try to start people on 22s. I kind of think that the 22 is a gateway drug, and
there's nothing wrong with it. I don't mean
no. It's I'm not saying that. When I hear people say they start people on 9s, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. That's really cool because it's there's one thing where you take someone out and you'll only have them shoot 22s, and then they go buy a 9 and they're like, holy crap, you didn't tell me about this. Like this is a lot bigger bang. There's more recoil. When I take new people to the range, I have them shoot 22s and then have them do a couple of magazines of 9s and then do a couple cylinders of 38s as well. So they get a little bit of variety and they get semi-autos and revolvers. And
well, my wife was lucky enough to win the Barkeep revolver. She must have stuffed every ticket I gave her into that thing, so she cannot wait. And all she did, she picked it up in her hand and moved, because I did the cardinal sin. You never buy your wife a car, and you never buy your wife a gun.
Right.
Right? Well, I've never she's always bought her own cars, and like a dum-dum, I bought her a gun, and it was it's a Smith & Wesson 9mm. She can't rack it. Her hands are too small. So she was at the gun prom last year, and you had one on display. She didn't get that one, but she got this one.
Nice.
So I saw this. The Barkeep was what, the single action revolver with the super short barrel?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And she just
really nice handles on there too.
Yeah, weren't those the coolest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the people we brought, they were all going for that same. But I threw some tickets in there for that flamethrower for Action Jackson.
What do you think?
He wanted that.
Jackson, when you get married, are you ever going to buy a gun for your wife, or are you going to let her buy her own gun? What do you think?
I'd probably buy her a gun.
See?
Probably do that. All right,
Well, he knows more about guns today than I do.
I know.
So
He does.
he'll be in the right shape by the time he gets to that age.
I think he's on the right track.
Yeah, I know, too.
He's already thinking about buying his wife stuff. I think he's on the right track.
But, yeah, finding I think your idea of letting them shoot 3 different types of weapons / rounds is really, that's the way to go. Do you throw a shotgun in there?
No, most people I work with just want to get a handgun.
Gotcha.
They want to get to that.
I was going to say that, even you're doing, Charlie, start on the 22. Sometimes I start on the 22. What I'll also do is bring different 9mm. So you have polymer frame, aluminum frame, or even bring a 1911 and 45. Okay, it's a 45. But the weight, everything boils down to the weight of the firearm. And it's that, principles of physics. And if you have the heavier firearm, you're going to have the less felt perceived recoil. So it's trying to get somebody comfortable. I had a veteran of the police force for 20 years, I think she was, and her service firearm's a Beretta 92 FS. That's what she's been using forever. And I said all I brought was some Tupperware guns, and she's like, ugh. So she shot and she said, nope, not for me. But I kept putting them in her hand, and she's like, I can shoot this. But, it's about that perceive the recoil at first and, getting past that. I don't know if you would say you've seen a similar situation with students.
I had a lady that I have. We were talking. I was trying to think of it. It's a Ruger, but it's not an LCP. I think it's the LC9. LC9. Yeah, that's what it is. It's an LC9. So it's small. It's thin, and I had her shoot the Glock 19, and she thought it was a little too big. So she tried this other gun that's a lot smaller. That to me has got more recoil to it, and the slide is harder to rack, and she liked that one better.
Hey. I mean, it's like, well, all of us in this room, I bet you there's not two of us that like the same gun.
I like all of them.
Yeah, he likes all of
Have you
them.
guys seen the GSG? GSG, a German sports guns, makes it's a 1911 platform, but it's in 22. And it's like a $320 gun or something. But it's been on my list for a while because I want to use it for the Women on Target things. And somebody made me believe now that I need a second Glock 19, so it got bumped down a level.
I don't know, why do you need a second Glock 19?
Because I've decided now, we were in the class, we're teaching the class.
This is going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, we were teaching a class up at Escondido Friday, and we're shooting at some steels, that were out. The one was out about 30 yards, and it was painted white. It was all shot up, so it was like camouflaged, and it was against brown grass, dried grass, and rocks, and it was hard to see for me. So and it was hard to focus, and I have to have I've got to have my little cheater lenses on there to focus on the iron sights on my Glock 19, because if I don't have my glasses on, I can't get the front sight clear and in focus. So I had some trouble hitting. I mean, I hit it, but I missed it a couple of more times. And I thought, maybe it's getting time maybe to throw a red dot on this 19. So, and I was talking to Bill. Bill has two of these on his license, because he's thinking, well, if something happens, if one breaks, if something goes on to where I lose one, I at least have the same other gun on there, which I never really thought about. And then my Ruger, my GP100, quit working the other day. And I thought, wow, I guess they can quit working once in a while. So
That's a
all
lesson,
it took.
a 2-minute lesson in rationalization right there is what that was.
Yeah, did it sell you?
I'm sold.
That's what
I only have one Glock 19. I feel like a fool.
I know. You should go get at least 3.
Gotta play catch up.
Yeah.
Even dangerously there.
Those are rookie numbers.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.